How do you think Chebukati should have handled it? Now that there are 4 commissioners presenting and Chebukati
I had done
all to call the election.
I had spoken to many media houses, international and local, and I was giving them tick, tick, tick. Now, let's go to the tail end. We don't know what happened, but let's go by what we do know. That before the final announcement, the agents, especially the chief agent for Honorable Raila Odinga, cried foul. What did he say? That the thing was so opaque. They are being asked to invite Raila to come. They are being asked to accept results that they have no idea how it has been arrived at. You would expect the agents will be shown, this is our tabulations, you are seeing it going down there and how it is, now you can sign here. That bit was kept opaque. And we learned later that the Chebukati had avoided his fellow commissioners and these agents. Well, fine, that could be normal, okay, because of the heat of the moment. But what happens when the 4 commissioners bolt? Why was Chebukati in a hurry to announce, and he still had 1 more day? To earn the confidence of Kenyans, Chebukati would have called for a meeting early Tuesday morning, the following day, with all the commissioners. So that even if they, for some reason, let me say almost stubbornly, refuse to see the figures, maybe they have a paymaster, Chebukati don't tell them, in the interest of this election and in the interest of the country, I have tried to talk to you, I've shown you the figures, here they are, you have refused, I'm even inviting the press into this meeting. And this is what we have seen, and this is what I'm going to invite. That would, to announce, that would have earned the confidence of Kenyans. But as it were, the speed, the hurry, the timing is almost evening. They say they will never do it at night, reminding Kenyans of Kibaki's 2007. That was reckless and I dare say dangerous. Yeah. And it shouldn't be repeated in future.
Joy, do you think there was a hurry in pronouncement of this election results? This is the longest we've waited for a presidential election result to be announced.
Exactly, hence my furrowed brow, because I'm listening to Dr. Ri and I'm not sure we were observing the same set of circumstances. Even on the day of the announcement itself, the guests were seated in Bomas as early as 10 a.m. Communication came out that the announcement will be done at 3 p.m. It was not made until after 5 p.m. That tells me, because even I was in Bomas on that day, we had no idea what was going on. That tells me there must have been some discussions and a stalemate somewhere for it to have gotten to the place that it got. And so what Dr. is suggesting must have been happening behind the scenes. We just didn't get to see it. Postponing it to Tuesday now would have gotten us in a situation where we would be likely to precipitate a constitutional crisis, because he only has 7 days within which to declare this election. In my opinion, one of the things that Kenyans have to remember is that as the chairman of the IEBC, it is the responsibility of the chairman to be the returning officer of the presidential vote. It is not a board commission meeting. It's not a decision on who to award a contract or who to recruit as chairman or as CEO or as director of ICT. That was not that sort of meeting. This was a meeting where the sole responsibility of the commission was to look at the Form 34As that communicated what Kenyans said when they were asked the question, who do you want to be your president? Once they read those things and verified them according to the law, because it was in the Mainakia case about verification, but the law was actually changed this year in the election rules that were, the election laws that were changed by Parliament just before. And in the word verify was included in there. So Chebukati had to be satisfied that the Form 34As have come and that they have been verified. Once they've been verified, that they have been tallied. This tallying is not Chebukati sitting with a calculator and doing the math. There's the way it has been computed that it adds itself up. That is why you had ELOC doing a similar tally. That is why you had other observers. That's why you had normal Kenyans, people like Akina Mongo Capital, doing the math and arriving at approximately the same figures. So when the commissioners are behaving as if they were taken by surprise that there were figures at the end of the day. Yet they were participating all along. We saw Commissioner Wanderi, we saw Commissioner Cherera, we saw all of them taking turns, coming out and reading some results to us. So behaving as if they had no clue what was going on until last minute, alama ya dukuduku, to me is less than honest, because they were there in Bomas, day and night, because that verification was going on during the day, through the night, during the day, through the night, for 5 continuous days. So for them to behave as if they were taken by surprise by the turn of events, by where did these numbers come from, doesn't make sense. And for us to be able to even lend credence to the fact that there was the so-called opaqueness, okay, fine. So in your tally, in your total, okay, then what did you find was the case? What did you tell Chebukati? I don't think it's 15, I think it's 13, and this is how I arrived at 13. Did you have that conversation? Or the conversation was just that, no, before you announce, talk to us about it first, because there's nothing that obliges the rest of the commission to make that announcement. But for Chebukati, he has a personal responsibility. Remember, even for the other returning officers, their actions as returning officers gives them, it's a personal responsibility. If they make an error, if they make a mistake, if they take a bribe and make a wrong presumption, there's no protection given to other civil servants that in the course of doing your duty, they're personally liable. And the same liability attaches to Chebukati. So when I look at this incident, all I see is people who maybe had a predetermined outcome, who maybe wanted to have an influence, failed to have that influence, but had to make a justification for whatever action that is. And I'm very, very proud of Honorable Raila, because he said, you know what, if this thing is not making sense, the court will nullify it, because that's the way to go. It's not to walk out of your duty station and to go ahead and throw a hissy fit. That doesn't make any sense. Bandy around figures that are obviously not internalized. So it makes us wonder, are you saying your own words, or are you being told what to say? Because at the end of the day, I agree 100% with what Dr. is saying here. That action alone could burn the country. That action of going to Serena was irresponsible. There was nothing that stopped them, even if they were in Bomas, to issue a dissent. We've seen it in the Court of Appeal, in the Supreme Court. They had that leeway. So what I saw happening with those 4 commissioners, as far as I'm concerned, was not only irresponsible, it was unpatriotic. Because all along, at no point did we get the impression that the commission was not working in concert. Because even Chebukati was the one who was least on the floor. These others are the ones who are most with us when we're at Bomas, day and night. So in my opinion, I don't understand how this is a situation that is Chebukati's fault. I think the fault lies with the 4 commissioners who just decided to cry wolf. And we're looking around and you're wondering, where is the wolf?
Franklin.